never love you back. The streets will never love you back.
Pow. What's up, guys? It's been a long time. Yes, it has. Well, you know what? I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be here sitting, giving you some content and giving you another Beth Avenue story. As you see in the ticker, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing shows Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, giving you a Beth Avenue story. And I'll still be interviewing some people and also going live once or twice a week. I want to come back on YouTube. I want to give some good content, tell you some stories and a little more, about my life growing up, things I've been through, the struggle, the redemption, the hurt, the pain, and the comeback of putting it all back together and doing the right thing in life. But yeah, so I got a Beth Avenue story today. Today I'm going to be talking about Gerald Bellafiore. Also before I get into this story, in life we learn to grow. I mean, I learned to grow. I've been through so many things in my life, ups and downs, being inside prison, losing people that you love and you care for. And looking back on my life and all the friends I lost, I mean, I always think about it. And I wish I could go back to those days and change things, because I would definitely make a right turn and do the right thing and be comfortable and live a good life, not going through the nonsense and hurting my family and going through prisons and making collect calls and getting visits from your family and bothering them and stuff like that. But anyway, I'll be telling you these stories in my next Beth Avenue story. But today I'm going to be talking about an old friend of mine. His name is Gerald Bellafiore. Now, Gerald Bellafiore is one of the guys that I used to rob banks with. I met him through William Galloway. As you know, William Galloway was also a bank robber. And they came around my way. William introduced me to Gerald, and he told me that Gerald robs banks. So one night I went on a score with them over a weekend on a Sunday night. I made $80,000 my pocket, and I was pretty happy with them, And I started hanging out with them more often, because when I was growing up, every day was a struggle. My mother grew up on welfare. My father lived in Manhattan. He worked a 9 to 5. At the end of the day, he'd go to the bar, have a couple of drinks, but he was always a good father. He always did the right thing towards us whenever we needed something, always came around. As I got older, it was a little different. But, these are the heartbreaks in life that we go through, I'm at an age in my life with my children, and I look at my mother and father's relationship, how they couldn't be together. Because I guess as you get older, older people have complicated relationships. Sometimes you can't get along, whatever the fact, whatever it may be. But these are the things I look at, and I try to do better for my kids. But getting into Gerald Bellafiore. Now, Gerald Bellafiore was a dear friend of mine. I started doing scores with him. I robbed a lot of banks with him. I made a lot of money with him. He is one of the guys that I did the Staten Island Mall with. The Staten Island Mall, we got close to $500,000. The adrenaline when we did that score was pretty rough, and it was fun at that time. And I don't recommend anyone robbing banks. It's definitely not the right way to go. But back then, you know what? When I was growing up, being the bad kid was actually being the good kid. You know, that's what got your respect. But Gerard Bellafiore, he was a great bank robber, a great thief. I'll tell you a quick story about him. In this photo right here, he came home after doing so many years and he had no money. He was with some girl that he was dating in Miami. He ended up saving all his money. He ended up putting it in the ceiling. And when he got pinched, there was like over $500,000 in cash. The girl took it, and him coming out a couple years later, he had nothing. He was broke. When he comes home, he goes to Chris Paciello and asks Chris, can you lend me 50,000? I'll give it back to you in 2 weeks. Chris says, no, Gerard, I can't have anything to do with you. I'm going legit. I don't want nothing to do with this street life no more. And Chris tells him, don't come around no more. So Gerard figures, you know what? Let me show Chris I'm going to make it on my own. Gerard goes out and he goes and robs a night deposit box. When he goes robs the night deposit box, he has a Freddy Krueger mask on somewhere in Dade County, Miami. And the cops throw a couple shots at him. They hit him. And he gets arrested. And later on, underneath the knife, when they do surgery, he ends up dying. But Gerard Bellafiore, to me, he was a great guy, very generous, maybe made lots of money. And I miss him because he was one of the good ones for sure. And he was a great thief. But let me tell you a quick story about him, about the fat lady, okay? Now, back in the day when we used to rob cars and do tag jobs and all that, you know, we used to deal with these legitimate people, but they were also crooked people. So we had some fat lady. Gerard knew this woman. She was kind of like a gypsy. You know, she had this place located on 18th Avenue and 85th Street, right next to the train station. And on her front door, when you go up the stairs, it said, the fat lady. I swear, you can't make this shit up. But so we knock on the door. And he's telling me about this fat lady as we go along, right? You know, the fat lady, we got to go there. We have to go get an insurance card. So this is the time when we used to do tag jobs. We used to rob cars, do tag jobs, buy broken down valise cars for maybe $500,000, take the tags off, okay? The rivets, unrivet them. You have the title, a couple door stickers, and a couple other things you could get off of the car. And then what you do is you crush the car. After you crush the car, you hold on to the title, the door stickers, the VIN number. And later on, what you're going to do is you're going to look for a car with the same model, okay, the same name, but it's going to be more upgraded or maybe 4 or 5 years older. And what you do is you're going to take those VIN numbers out and you're going to put our VIN numbers in the car that you bought for $500, $1,000, and you're gonna change VIN numbers. You're gonna take their VIN numbers out, put our VIN numbers in, take the windshield off, make everything look perfect. Okay, take their door sticker off with a heated gun. Okay, slap your door sticker on, change some kind of number on the engine. If you could scratch it out, whatever. But hopefully you go underneath the radar and you don't get caught with this. But this is what we used to do back in the day: steal cars, do tag jobs and stuff like that. So Gerard had this lady, the fat lady, okay? Now, when I met the fat lady, really, it was pretty funny. You know, she was really fat. I said, why do you call her a fat lady? She said, because she's fat. Obviously, she's fat, but she was really fat. She was like this fat, you know? I'm telling you. And she was smiling at you like she wanted to get with you. You know, I'm telling you, it's a funny story. So Gerard introduces me to the fat lady. We get the insurance card. We go to the DMV in Staten Island. We give the insurance card to the DMV, and right away we get our plates, and that's it. We're set to go. Our registration, and that's it. Away we go. And these are the connections we had. So, but at the funny story is always at the end of the story. You know, it's like watching Goodfellas or watching Casino or A Bronx Tale. The beginning of the story is always fun. At the ending, that's the more serious part when everyone gets pinched. Now, this was funny because at the end of our career of robbing and stealing, eventually you got to grow up. So when Gerard got pinched, Gerard had to give up the fat lady. So he ends up getting pinched right after I got pinched somewhere in the 90s. And he comes forward and cooperates, and he gives up the fat lady. So when I saw him later on, I said, Gerald, whatever happened to the fat lady? He said, Jimmy, I had to give her up. I said, wow, you gave her up, you cocksucker. You're something else. But anyway, that's the story of the fat lady. I hope you enjoyed that story. I mean, to me, it was a funny story. Gerald Bellafiore was a character, one of the best thieves I ever knew in Brooklyn for sure. But listen, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with some other Beth Avenue stories. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And look at the click at the bottom. Please subscribe and press the like button. And to all my people out there, I love you guys. I'll see you on the next Beth Avenue story. Love you guys. Bye. The streets will never make you grow. It's not a seed, it's a gutter. There's no happy endings in this life. So this is my message to you. The streets will never love you back.